Hey at Woodlanders, what a beautiful morning. We have had an awful lot of rain overnight and those Arctic blasts have gone. This week we are hoping to try and get some coppice knocked off. So we're in the thick stuff now, which is down there, and we will attempt to get some of that knocked back. Anyway, how are you? How's your woodland management going? Have you had a chance to start cutting yet? Let me know how you're getting on. Be interested to know. So we've only had a couple of tankfuls out today. I think I've done about 12 stools, that's all. It's not been the greatest of days productivity wise. I've been chatting and time wasting really, and it's time for me to go. So I'll be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow's meant to be another beautiful day with the sun, which will be nice. So I'll see you in the morning. Morning all. Decided yesterday it wasn't a particularly productive day. I was a bit fed up. So today I'm trying to get a slightly earlier start. It's not early, but a slightly earlier start. Yesterday I got delayed by one of the neighbours wanting to have a chit chat, and the neighbours at home, that is. Of course I didn't get going till like about 9:30. It's half the day gone this time of year. And hopefully I can try and get 3 tankfuls done today. Today is Wednesday, and it's Wednesday the 21st of December, which is the day in winter that I look forward to. It's like a marker day because it's the shortest amount of daylight hours in the UK, which means spring is round the corner, which is pretty awesome. So I'm trying to think of a one word Wednesday word for today, because with that in mind, I'm kind of thinking maybe my one word for today is spring. Come on, sort yourself out. First tankful down. Not doing too bad this morning actually. I have more energy today. Yesterday I got no energy at all. Hopefully we can get, you can see around that side, those over there near where my saw and my helmet is. We can get that line done today and maybe start even breaking into this bit just here as well, which would be nice. I'm gonna have a quick tea break and I'll be back. I'm going to show you this. This was something Chappie mentioned on Facebook. I think his name's Michael Short. What he showed me was his methods of getting more stalls out of a stool. So this stool was a big ugly stool with multiple stems coming off it, and they're all cut really high. So what I've done is I've undercut it all and tried to get it as low as I can. Now you can see where the original was there and where it's sort of decayed and filled with all sort of composty wood chips and leaves and everything else. But what happens is, when that happens, is you get root formations. And so what this guy said, Michael, he said if you can get stuff like that, perhaps a little bit smaller, but stuff like that, scratch out the ground, plant it, that will take root. But he says he's been doing it for a few years and got some really good results from it. Should we do that? Let's go and find a place where we can plant them. It'll be a miracle if they survive, but it's got to be worth the effort rather than just slinging them onto the charcoal pile, which in the past I have done, and I've never even considered that as an option. And there's another chappie, I think his name's Brian Williamson, he's another coppice worker somewhere in the UK, and what he does, I think what he does, he lets the stool grow back for about a year so you get all the fresh shoots come up on it, and then he puts a ring of like chicken wire around it, backfills it with leaf mould. So what happens then is the base of all, a bit like what happened here, the base of all of the stems that come off all the edges then start to take root in the leaf mould. And then what he does in the next coppice cycle cut, he'll cut above all of those rods, so get the rods out, and then he'll just nip back those rooted cuttings, so you've got a little stub with all rootlets coming out of it, and then takes the wire off, or he might start again. I think that's what he does. Now don't quote me, but I'm sure that's the picture I understood it to be. I just thought what an interesting technique. So you got nut production, so you can plant the nuts, you could do layering where you connect the stem, layer it over, scratch the bit underneath, pop it on the ground and weight it, so the stem, like a little stem like that one, kind of goes up and back down again into the ground, and then that's called a layer. Then you go on what I've just done, which I don't know what you could call that, and then the other one with a wire around it, I think that's called stumping up. But it's interesting how different ways you can propagate hazel. If you know of another way to propagate hazel, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear that. I'm always interested in propagation, fascinated by it. Just not quite managed to get my third tank full finished. We started yesterday over that stump just about there, and we've swept our way through. It's like a tornado's it. So we've managed to cut through to there, so the next job is to start on this slot here then and try and get down to the right side. But yes, today has gone really well. I've got to dash off to the dentist. I will no doubt see you in the morning, bright and early, ready for the guy who's going to come and pick up some firewood. Hey up Woodlanders, welcome to 2023. We're here, we have landed. My hair's long and it feels like I've got a bit of a yeti going on. So we're back in Rosseston this week, hitting the new year with a keen sense of let's just get the job done. I don't even know what I'm saying here, I'm just bonkers man. Today is actually a bank holiday. No double pay for me today. We're not cutting today. I wanted a bit of a quiet day with the sunshine, and that's just nice to have a bit of a quiet day. So today is rod dressing day, and in particular hedge laying stakes. So I've got an order for 250 hedge laying stakes, which I've just about got, I think. If you're new around here, then dressing is all about knocking off the knobbly bits on the sides. Just get all the little branchy twiggy bits off the sides, because hedge layers are pretty keen on, they want a nice smooth stake. Oh, finger update. My fingers I've recovered somewhat. You saw that video. I got frostbite bitten-ish on the ends of my fingers, so that one and those three. Those two have recovered. That one's a little bit tingly still, and this one's still quite bad, but this one I got caught in a lawnmower a long time ago, about 10-12 years ago, and took the end of my finger off, and that one, so all the nerve endings in this finger and this finger are pretty damaged. But the frostbite has certainly sent me back a few years, because it was beginning to feel almost normal after 10 years, but it's not anymore. I don't know about you, but sometimes the new year sort of gives you a bit of a reset. This kind of new energy. Why is that? It's a very odd, weird thing. I don't know, it's just a psychological thing because everyone else is doing it. But you do, I think, tend to see the new year as like, what last year is like, what did I achieve? And what did I want to achieve, and where did we actually get to on the achievement scale? And then you think the new year, right, these are the important things for 2023, and will I get to do all of them, and which ones become the priority and which ones don't? So let me know what it is that you've got planned for 2023 that you're really looking forward to. What is it that this year is going to do for you? What goals, hopes and dreams do you have? And hopefully over the year we can sort of share them together. I watched a few YouTube channels the other day. There's Ollie's blogs, and then there's Tom Pemberton. It was just nice to catch up on some of the highlights of their year, and I thought, shall I do that? I thought, I've not really had many highlights, to be honest, so I haven't, and I might not really, but it is good to reflect. And 2022 for me was the year of the YouTube. Never actually bore my face on camera because, well, why would you do that? But 2022 I started off with putting my face on camera, getting my ugly mug out there and doing a little bit of what I do for my weeks, and I've really enjoyed it. I've got lots of new goals for 2023. Let me know if you've got any ideas of things that you would like me to do on the channel. By all means, pop them in the suggestions. Open to different ideas. Of course, we've got to be based around woodland and craft work, really. Hopefully create and make content that you're interested in. So let me know in the comments. We've had a pretty good day today. We've managed to get 250 Hedge Lane steaks for an order, all dressed and bundled, and also another 40 there with a couple of spares. But I tell you what, let's get the bow saw out of your face. All in, not been a bad day really. Quite nice in the sunshine, a bit cold on the fingertips because the logs are wet. So I've still got a bit of time left, so I'm going to start dressing some of these bigger rods, which for another order. And I've got to get 250 at 8 foot and 250 at 6 foot, and I've got nowhere near that yet. Okay, we've got about 100. Oh no, we haven't got 70 done. 70 of the 8 foot's done. But that's about it for today. The sun is starting to set. I don't know if you can see that, just through the trees over there. Just there we've got what looks like quite a nice sunset, so we'll see if we can get down the lane and out quick, try and capture a nice sunset. Other than that, I'll see you in the morning. Morning all. It's a workshop day this morning because of the rain. So I've got a couple of little panels, Hazel panels to make. They're the dimensions. So we'll get these cut to size, sort out the frames, and then we can nip up the woods under cover. Let me do some number crunching. Right, let's go and cut them to size. First job, go and dress some rods. That's good, we've got 2 of those done, which will get inserted into a gate, which will look nice, that will. Well, it's pouring with rain again now, and so I'm going to get the panels in the back of the van and go home, I think. I've just been recording about how much I earned on YouTube. So I'll put that in the link in the description. And I think there's another lorry stuck down my lane again. I can hear some shunting and slamming and pulling and reversing. So we're going to see what mess he's made. We have got a tipper's wagon in the ditch. Just there, look. You see that? Proper in the ditch, smashed to pieces. They just won't listen and they won't learn. You put the signs up and they think they know best. Good morning. That says 250 stakes on. Interesting fact this morning, somebody posted on Facebook about the hedge laying grants have all been changed, and landowners can apply to get a grant so that when they lay the hedge, some of the grant covers the cost of the actual stake and the binder, depending on what style you're using. I generally charge about 85p a stake. Recently I've had to knock it back down to 80p, which I was charging that 5 years ago. They've said this morning that the grants now mean that a stake and a binder is worth £1.45 each, which is, for me, phenomenal news, because that means that a value of a stake has just doubled overnight for me, and so this is the last load that will ever go out at 80p each. I know that my stakes are quite low quality really. They're not like the javelins that come from down Hampshire way, and I understand that. And sometimes it makes the hedge laying a little bit slower because they have to be a little bit more creative with some of the slight wiggles in them. So you have to compensate for that slightly, but when all said and done, it still does the job. And I I can't help feeling, this is a personal view by the way, that sometimes hedge layers can get so caught up in the match quality, trying to get some sort of match standard out of their regular work patterns every day, every week. I understand we want to get our standards higher all the time, but there's a point where for us coppice workers trying to get the stakes out, it's like we can't even get that kind of quality out. Anyway, rant over. Today's job, now these stakes are in, is to get some more coppice cut. We've had a pretty good day today. I don't know if you'll be able to tell from the time lapse what we've done, but we started kind of like here somewhere. Is it just there? Anyway, so it's sort of around here, and then, well, you can see the rest. You don't need my silly voiceover over the top. And then we're doing all right really, because just through there you might be able to see the ride. So there's only 3 trees deep, something like that, and then we've got grass ride, fence line. But that's all we've got time for, folks, I'm afraid. We'll be back again next week. Thank you again for watching. We are getting close to 500 subscribers as I have recorded this, and I wanted to do a 500 subscriber giveaway. So I will have a think over the weekend how I'm going to do that and how you can take part again. Remember, if you're able to, try and enjoy the woodlands. If you can, grab a tree, plant it, being responsible of course. That's about it. What else do I normally say at the end? I can't remember. See you on the next one. I don't know what you'll see in this light, but this is what that lorry did the other day.